right now is key to pay attention to, what's the root to why we're doing certain situations. Like, why do I feel like making a video right now? Why do I feel like fasting? Why do I feel like working with certain crystals? You know, like seeing, the root to why we choosing to do certain things in certain situations, like, and tapping into, again, is this motivated from love or fear? Am I making videos because I love to do it? This is what I love articulate myself. Or am I making videos because I'm fearful that I'm not gonna stay relevant, or I'm fearful that it's been a while since a donation, so let me do a video. Like what's the fuel behind what you're doing? And again, it should be from a place of love and not fear. And if you do realize that whatever your action has been because of fear, don't trip out. Now that you can make sure you start tapping into doing things from a place of love and not fear. It's not like, oh, I've been doing things out of fear, I'm going to hell. Like, no. No, you good. It's just having that acknowledgement and that awareness, Like, again, or why am I fasting? Am I fasting because it makes my body feel good? Or am I scared that, because again, with this ascension programming, as if this some type of race, or as if you're not growing at your own pace, like you gotta rush, like, oh shit, I gotta make it to the finish line before so-and-so. I gotta ascend before so-and-so, I gotta ascend at this point in time because so-and-so ascended at this point in time. It's like, so again, like, am I fasting because, I'm trying to reach a certain point at a certain time, or am I fasting because it feels good and it makes me clear, with my energies, just understanding the deeper aspects of like why we're doing things. I feel that coming up a lot for myself, and like with anything, if it's coming up for me, somebody out there is dealing with the same thing, just being in a place to where you really want to key in on, like, why you're doing something, like what is the inspiration or the motivation behind it, like it could be, and also seeing where certain, again, subconscious programs that's running, that may not be for our highest good. Like, we may be doing something because of religious programming, where we jump from the skillet to the frying pan, where, like, even though we're not in church no more, we still, like, we meditating out of, like, fear of God. Like, I'm meditating because I fear that if I don't meditate, like going to church on Sunday, that God gonna get me, like, again, from the skillet to the frying pan. Like, and it's, important to have that awareness and key in on it. Because as I'm speaking on it, I'm bringing up, things on myself, like, again, like, why am I doing this video? Why am I fasting right now? Now, of course, I answered those questions and know, why I'm doing it. But I have seen in the past where sometimes I may have been doing something where fear was the fuel behind it. And if fear is it's like the root of the situation, and that's the type of fruit you're gonna get. It's like fearful, you're gonna constantly be in that survival mode, and that's basically what the egoic mind is about, the humanity aspect with our ego is all about like constant survival, you know. And we tapping into our soul, into our spirit, getting into a place where that survival mode of the human ego is not on the extreme and not running the show. Like, of course, we're gonna have some level, some aspect of, you know, survival to save our little bodysuit so we could play out whatever little, you know, whatever soul contracts we got signed up for. You know, we gotta complete our soul contract. So that means, you know, making sure our bodysuit lasts until that moment comes where we done with our contract and it's time to move on out of this bodysuit, you know. But right now, again, it's important to pay attention to the roots of why. Again, being like the fool card, like in decreeing to the universe, you know, to higher self, like, hey, higher self, universe, however you want to use that terminology, but realize you're talking to a higher aspect of you, something you connected to, not something that's outside of you, like a sky daddy, like or something, you know, some type of person in the sky that's not connected to you. You're talking to yourself, interfacing with yourself. But so you running jokes about the sky daddy. I was talking about speaking to higher self. Oh, like being the fool card, like, and letting, you know, speaking it to the point of like, hey, higher self, I want to know, you know, all the truthful aspects of my being. I want to know, you know, what's my soul purpose, you know, why am I here? I want to, you know, study my being to the fullest. I want to know all about my being in this incarnation, in this lifetime. I want to know, you know, everything that I can know. And I express that I realize that I don't know anything, and that I accept the truth no matter how it's packaged, no matter how it comes. I'm in acceptance of the truth. So no matter if, you know, and I spoke on that for myself, like no matter if I'm told that hippie Jesus is the real Jesus and that's the real Messiah, and I gotta go back to church, like, I don't care if that's the truth, you know, I just want to be led to the truth no matter what it is. You could use whatever little aspect for yourself. Like, I use that because that's something that, you know, I kind of feel, you know, for the most part is not true. But, you know, to just discuss on how real I am about searching for the truth, even though I may know that situation fake, if some information come up or something changes to where that becomes a certain, you know, there's some truth behind it, well then shit, then it's time to shift, you know, back to the church aspect and back to that aspect. But again, it's just expressing that, you know, you wanting to, you know, being humble and realizing like we're always learning, and to, you know, be able to be like that fool card, like Forrest Gump, you know, ready to adapt and shift, because, you know, the only thing constant is change. And, you know, some information we may have been dealing with because it's traditional information, or, you know, our grandmother told us this, or, you know, we saw this in a book by an author who's got 15 bestsellers, so, you know, there's got to be some legit information. But be prepared for, you know, to find information that may shift you from, you know, from looking at that information as the end all be all, you know. Like, and prepare yourself for it by being open to it, because for the most part, if we're not open to it, we're closing ourselves down, you know, to receiving that information by just staying in one, you know, So lately my meditation's been on just being like the fool card in the tarot, you know. Like as much as I do know, I don't know, you know. As much as I am interconnected to source, you know, part of this experience is not knowing everything, you know. I mean, you could look at that in the aspect of, that's why we all like, you know, little reflections of each other sprinkled out all around. You know, not one of us have all of the information, but it's sprinkled throughout all of us, you know. But being the fool card and realizing, why do we do things? Am I doing this because I was taught this, and does it truly work for me? Or am I just doing this because I'm scared to do anything else or accept anything else because I was already doing this, so I might as well just stay with it? Like, nah, if it's truly not working, or you truly feel that, you know, deep down inside you would love to be doing something else, or something else that inspire you, or whatever the case may be, you know, then be open to that. Don't close yourself down to that change. You know, don't close yourself down to being adaptable. You know, like that's the whole aspect. Being an empty cup, so you could constantly pour more in your cup. You know, and what the analogy of it is like, again, like just not holding on to knowledge in a stiff manner. Like, yeah, of course, if I learn something, I do a meditation and I go inside myself and learn something about myself. Of course, I'm going to keep that in my awareness, in my memory, but I'm not holding on to it to a point where if there's new information to come in, you know, I empty that old information out, and then, you know, and tap into the new insight that's coming in. Because I'm constantly realizing and being humbled, having to eat that humble pie again, of just realizing, like, you know, everything is a reflection of what's going on inside of me. And no matter how unwoke somebody may seem or whatever, they still reflecting the energy, you know, that's in connection with what's going on inside of you. You know, no matter what. So just staying on the humble, you know. And again, being that fool card. But that's basically it, you know, again, tapping into asking yourself, like, what's the root cause of why I'm doing this? Why I'm feeling this way? You know? Why do I watch Universal Frequencies videos? You know, why do I watch any videos at all? You know? Do I watch it to replace my inner guidance system with the information I'm watching, or am I watching it for entertainment? Am I watching it to gain insight? Like, what's the root to this? Like, why? Why do I eat donuts? Because again, even with stuff that's necessarily bad, yeah, they say this and that and this type of food, but shit, if it works for you, it works. You know, if you feel that you're being your greatest version by eating a donut or whatever, then that's an alignment for you in this lifetime. You know, like, it works for you. You know, but if you feel inside like something telling you, like, yeah, these donuts not the best thing, and that's why my knee hurt all the time, or whatever, then you know what the business is. And, you know, again, like, peeping off of what you truly feel, and not just going off of some, you know, subconscious programming and letting the programming run, you know, as you tapping in. But yeah. Trust me, I'm getting that getting that message. Only reason why I'm aligning with these videos right now a lot is because I have been becoming more and more clear. You know? Again, like that's what my fasting has been for, you know, to just make sure I'm really clearing myself. And I had to acknowledge, like, all right, be aware that, you know, you may be kind of doing things on the, like, trying to speed things up vibe. So don't be trying to speed things up. Don't try to rush, because it is no rush. It is no shortcuts, you know. That's why I like having that awareness with, like, paying attention to information about, like, how you hear people say, like, oh, 2020, this is it, y'all, But you gotta trust higher self. You gotta trust that higher self gonna have you where you should be as energy switching up. It ain't about, like, taking that into your conscious mind and then getting in survival mode of, like, oh shit, this day 2020 coming, so I gotta hurry up and do this, I gotta hurry up and do that. Fear. It's like, no. Man, trust. As I'm saying that, again, like, I'm not saying that from a perspective of, like, oh yeah, y'all, because I'm the fucking trust master. You know, I've been through it too. Where I've, like, allowed for myself to fall out of trust with higher self. You know, it happens. You know, it definitely happens. But again, by having that awareness to stay on it, you know, and stay in that vibe of making sure, you know, you're trusting and being fully in your moment. You know, yeah, we tap into the past, tap into the future in the moment when it's relevant. But for the most part, all we got is the moment, and we'll be fear-mongering ourselves about some type of future. And that's where it kind of becomes a you know, a situation that can be difficult for, like, people who get premonitions or foresee things, because they'll like intensely see or feel things and operate, you know, outside of the moment, like just like prepping for some future situations that ain't really even happening right now per se. You know, like, nah, just do what's best in your moment, because again, by trusting, you know, and knowing that everything is here for you in your moment. Like, your higher self ain't gonna have nothing hard to get if it's meant for you to deal with in your now moment. It won't be hard for you to get it. If it feel like you gotta do this, do that, then maybe that's not in alignment for you. You know? Yeah, that's basically it. Just be in your now moment. Be adaptable to change and information. You know, declare to your higher self that there are some things that I don't know. You know, so that information that's really the knowledge can come to you from inner gnosis. You know, a clear cognizance, you know, but we definitely don't want to be sitting around like a know-it-all, you know, blocking all insight and information because we know it already. And once our subconscious is programmed to feel like, oh, we know it all already, then nothing new is going to come to us. And like for the know-it-alls, that's why, you know, I saw myself in that program, and in certain moments where, like, when other people come with information, like, I almost want to block it at all times because I know it all, you know. I know it all. Like, I'm tapped into the divine. I'm tapped into source, so I know it all already. It's like, no, you don't. So you got to be aware of that energy. Aware of the inspiration / motivation of why you're doing certain things or feeling certain ways, you know. But yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. Now it's to vibrate, not too far in the future, not too far in the past.